The Legend of the Three Brothers. Long ago, there lived an old king who had 3 sons, Lek, Czech, and Ruse. One day, the king grew gravely ill. He sent for his sons. "When I am gone," he whispered, "I want you to promise to share my lands between you and live together in peace." The 3 brothers bowed their heads. "We promise, father," they said. The very next day, the king died. The brothers were sad, but they remembered what their father had said to them. They shared the land fairly between themselves, and they built homes for their families and friends. However, as time went by, their families grew larger, and they all needed more space. "Let's travel and search for new lands," said Lek. "We need to have enough space for our families to live in comfort." The 3 families packed warm clothes, tents to sleep in, and food for the journey. Then Lek, Czech, and Ruse mounted their horses and set off. They rode side by side, and the families traveled behind them in wagons. They rode for many weeks, over high mountains, over wide rivers, over thick forests, and across vast areas of wild country. At last, they reached a deep valley surrounded by 7 hills. Lek led everyone up one of the hills. There, on the top of the hill, stood a giant oak tree. Flying above the oak tree, they could see a great white eagle. It swooped in large circles above the tree. Lek lifted his hands toward the eagle. "This is a sign from the gods!" he cried. "Let's stop a while and look around." Climbing the tree, he stared all around him. He could see for miles in every direction. An enormous lake and thick dark forest lay nearby. Green hills lay to the south, and endless flat plains spread out to the east. When he climbed down, he told Ruth and Czech what he had seen. "I like the endless flat plains," said Ruth, pointing to the east. "We could grow crops there and become rich. I would like to go that way." "I prefer the hills of the south," said Czech. "We can keep animals there to keep graze on the grass. That's a better way of life for us." Lek said nothing. He was watching the eagle as it swooped down to its nest on the oak tree. Then he stared in wonder as the eagle spread its wings and soared again, high into the evening sky. As it rose, a ray of light from the setting sun shone on its wings. The body and head of the eagle stayed pure white, but the wings were suddenly tipped with gold. Lek climbed onto a fallen tree trunk. "Czech! Russ! Everyone!" he called. "Listen to me!" Everyone gathered around. "You all saw the eagle," he cried. "It was telling us that this is a special place. So here is where we will stay. This will be our home." But Rue spoke to his people and asked them which way they would like to go. "With you to the plains in the east," they shouted. Czech hurried away and asked his people where they wanted to go. "With you to the green hills in the south," they yelled. Lek turned to his people. "Where would you like to settle?" he asked. "Here," they cried. "Like you, we have seen the eagle. We understand the sign. We wish to stay here." Lek called his brothers back. "We have no need to argue," he said, "and Father wanted us to live in peace. We will each go our own way, and we'll still remain friends," said Ruth. That night, they all had a great feast. The next morning, the 3 brothers hugged each other and said farewell. Ruth and his followers went east to settle on the plains. Their country was named Russia. Czech and his followers went south to the green hills of their country, which is now called the Czech Republic. When Czech and Ruse has gone, Lek spoke to his people again. "We shall call this place Gnenzo," he declared, "because that means eagle nest." Straight away, Lek and his people set to work. They built a large town on the 7 hills. It took them many years. At last, when the town was finished, Lex stood back and smiled. "We need a flag," he declared. "It will have a white eagle with spread wings on a red background." His people agreed. "We remember the sign," they said. "It was the eagle that helped us choose this place." Soon the flag flew over the country of Gniezno. Gniezno became the first capital city of the country we now call Poland. And that is the story of how Poland began. The end.